The new court documents reveal potential fraud and major labor abuse. Alleged text messages to victims in the case reveal Taylor and Brannon demanded them to apply for government-funded EBT cards.
$50 million. I'm sorry. $50 million. I mean, that's a crazy amount of money, crazy work. So essentially what this pastor was doing is him and his partner in crime.
This is simple. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge will be $20,000. There's 1,000 of you, I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors.
Yo.
Whitehead has made news repeatedly this year. First in July, when masked robbers stole an estimated $1 million worth of jewelry from him during a live stream service.
Tonight, a follow-up to a disturbing case that went viral in Houston and all across the country for that matter yesterday. We're talking about David E. Taylor. He was arrested and accused of using a church as a cover-up for human trafficking and money laundering. Fox 26's Sherman DeSalle broke the story and has been gathering more information.
Michelle Brannon, listed as the executive director of David E. Taylor's Kingdom of God Global Church, appeared in federal court Thursday. Several locations affiliated with the organization, including the JMMI building in North Houston, were raided simultaneously by the FBI Wednesday. Sources tell Fox 26 people found in some of these locations were in need of medical care and refused it. The new court documents reveal potential fraud and major labor abuse. Alleged text messages to victims in the case reveal Taylor and Brannon demanded them to apply for government-funded EBT cards. They would then use those funds to purchase food for the staff. There were also times when staff would not eat or sleep if they didn't raise enough money for the organization. A September 2021 text reads, "Make sure no one eats until these numbers change. If they don't, you'll work until 4 a.m. Tell everyone they are not eating." In that same month, purchases were made for lavish items and expensive food. $10,000 worth of king crab legs.
And that's the type of evidence, if the government has that evidence and has some of the people who are going to testify, that's the type of evidence you just don't you don't run away from.
Isn't this the same guy who was facing some issues over his finances just 10 years ago? He was deposed. It went viral. You know, everybody was wondering then. So a lot of people are wondering what would make it different now with him trying to fight this in court.
You know, money allegations when you're raising money as a church is a little bit different than when you've got people coming in and saying, I couldn't leave and I was forced to take plan B. And this is the type of stuff that you just can't wash that off.
So Trinico goes on to say the amount that they're accused of collecting, over $50 million, won't be taken lightly in court either.
$50 million. I'm sorry. $50 million. I mean, that's a crazy amount of money, crazy work. So essentially what this pastor was doing is him and his partner in crime, they were forcing people to work against their will and not paying them any money. So essentially forced slave labor. And they were punishing them if they didn't hit certain quotas by withholding food, by physically and mentally abusing them. And I don't know if abuse came into play, because they said there about how some people were forced to take plan Bs. Why were they being forced to take plan Bs? I don't know. But what's going on? What's going on here? And this is not the first situation that we've heard in recent times about abuse in the church. And this is to another level, because a lot of times it's most of the time just financial crimes. Like the guy was saying, he's been accused of financial crimes before and nothing happened. Now we're talking about human trafficking. Now we're talking about forced labor. That's a whole nother ball game. And you know, this reminds me of another story that I remember hearing about. Marvin Sapp. Remember Marvin Sapp? The guy that told everybody he held people against their will inside the church service until they paid a certain amount of tithing or a certain amount of tithes or donated a certain amount of money. Do y'all remember that?
I know that there's 1,000 individuals under the sound of my voice that can do what I'm about to challenge you all to do. This is simple. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge will be $20,000. There's 1,000 of you, I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now everyone up here, we've all sowed and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. Shh. Giving is worship. Giving is worship. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. This is an easy miracle. We should be able to raise $40,000 tonight just from y'all giving. Look at us. Yeah. Now after you come up here, you can open the doors. Y'all can walk out the door after you come up here.
And then in addition to Marvin Sapp, there's another guy. I think his name was Lamont Whitehead, and he was like a pimp almost. He was like a pimp and a pastor. He was out here. I know at one point in time he had grabbed one of his churchgoers by the hair and shoved her out, you know, pretty much assaulted her. And then he got he got held up at gunpoint by people while he was live streaming one of his services. And he was being accused of embezzling money and forcing people to donate money as well. So I'll drop that here too so you can see that.
Brooklyn pastor who made headlines when he was robbed of expensive jewelry during a live stream church service has been indicted on federal charges.
Among the allegations against Lamore Whitehead, that he scammed a parishioner out of $90,000. This isn't his first time in trouble with the law.
A normally flashy Bishop Lamore Whitehead was silent outside federal court as his attorney denied all fraud allegations against him. Good evening. The Brooklyn pastor, known for delivering sermons in designer suits and lavish jewels at Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries, is being accused by federal prosecutors of obtaining part of his wealth illegally. According to an unsealed indictment, Whitehead asked for money and other things of value from victims using threats and false promises. He allegedly convinced a parishioner to invest $90,000 of her retirement savings with him, but spent it all on himself. He is also accused of extorting a businessman of $5,000, then convincing the victim to lend him $500,000 more and give him a stake in real estate transactions in return for favors from the city government, which Whitehead knew he could not obtain. The bishop was arrested Monday morning and pleaded not guilty in court before he was released on a $500,000 bond.
Yo.
Whitehead has made news repeatedly this year, first in July when masked robbers stole an estimated $1 million worth of jewelry from him during a live stream service.
You want to come preach? You want to come preach? You want to come preach? Come on up here.
Then in September, he was briefly detained after clashing with a woman who interrupted him mid-sermon. The bishop has a criminal history and was convicted on 17 counts of fraud back in 2008. The 45-year-old is now charged with 2 counts of wire fraud, 1 count of extortion, and 1 count of making material false statements.
If convicted on all counts, Whitehead faces up to 65 years in prison.
So yeah, I really don't know what's going on here with these pastors and these bishops in his case. And I know these 3 guys are black guys, obviously, but it's not all that. You know, his partner was a white lady. I'm not sure what is going on inside the church. And of course, this is not all churches, but I've always been I've always questioned mega churches and questioned, do these pastors and these leaders of these churches really need to have private jets? Joel Osteen. Do they really need to have $1 million mansions? TD Jakes. I'm looking at these big, famous pastors and leaders of these mega churches, and I'm wondering, is it going too far? You know what I mean? Is it going too far? I don't know. It's kind of crazy to me. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, I understand that you have to make sure the pastor has enough to eat, enough to provide for himself, enough to survive, and to keep the church going so he can focus on his duties as a church leader. But at some point in time, it just gets too far. It goes too far. So I think that's what's happening here, obviously. Now, this is a whole other story. We're talking about human trafficking. With that being said, guys, I appreciate you for sticking around. If you got any enjoyment from the video, feel free to like and subscribe. And until next time, make smart financial decisions and watch who you are supporting as your church leader, and make sure that you demand to see what's going on behind the curtain. And if you feel like your pastor is taking advantage of you, leave. And some of these pastors, I wouldn't even bother, because some of them are like straight up gangsters. So I wouldn't even ask. I would just go. So yeah, with that being said, make smart financial decisions. Talk to you guys later.